Are we?
This
Okay.
meeting is being recorded.
Caroline said that she called Wes, but it went to his voicemail.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll just proceed then. Good morning. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Hawaii State Ethics Commission. Today is March 16th, 2022, and the time is 9:06. And I am Commission Chair Melinda Wood. I believe Vice Chair Fong is not present yet. Commissioner Gralty, are you here? I believe he's getting hooked up. Okay. Commissioner McCarthy.
Here.
And Commissioner Tobias.
Here.
Okay, if the others come on, we will announce them as they come on. I'll also note the presence of staff. We have Executive Director Harris, Associate Director Yoza, staff attorneys Neifert, Chang, Campbell, and Yamanuha, and computer specialist Patrick Louie. For any members of the public who may be joining us, if the Commission's video conference connection is lost during the meeting, we'll recess the meeting and reconvene after our connection is restored. Please check the Commission's website, www.ethics.hawaii.gov, for information about reconnecting to the meeting. If the meeting is continued to a later date or terminated, information about this will be posted on our website. Are there any members of the public joining us who would like to identify themselves at this time? I believe we have a guest. Robert, is our guest with us?
They are. They may not want to introduce themselves or not. I see they're on mute.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. You can certainly listen in without giving your name. Okay, so the first item on the agenda, item 1, is consideration and approval of the minutes of the February 16, 2020 meeting. Do the commissioners have any comments or corrections to the minutes?
No.
Does any member of the public wish to testify on this item? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of the February 16, 2022 meeting?
So moved.
And second?
Second.
Thank you. So we will do a roll call vote of those of us who are present. Let's see, Commissioner McCarthy.
Aye.
Commissioner Tobias?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. So we will move on to agenda item 2, the consideration.
Chair, respectfully,
Yes.
Commissioner Gralty says he is on. He has audio only, not video, so he might be able to vote as well.
Okay, so Commissioner Gralty, we are just approving the minutes of the February 16 meeting. How do you vote? I did not hear an answer.
I don't believe he has audio on as well too, so I believe he has some mic issues.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we have a majority, so we can accept the minutes of the meeting. Okay. Ray, please let us know when you can hear us and when you can speak up yourself. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the executive session minutes from the February 16th, 2022 meeting. Do the commissioners have any comments or corrections to the minutes?
No.
No? Does any member of the public wish to testify on this item? Okay, hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of the February 16, 2022 executive session meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, we'll do the roll call vote. Commissioner Gualti, are you on now? Okay, well, evidently he's not quite hooked up yet. So Commissioner McCarthy,
Aye.
how do you vote? Commissioner Tobias,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. So we will move on to agenda item 3, which is the executive director's report.
Thank you, Chair. Before I begin, if you don't mind, with your indulgence, if I can turn it over briefly to Patrick, who will be introducing intern that we're excited to have on board with us.
Okay, excellent.
Morning. We have William Anna, who's IT intern, which we entered into an intern project with the DIR, where they partner state agencies with interns or students that are at various universities that are about to graduate or has graduated from an IT program. So we're happy to have on board Will. And the nice thing part of this project is we don't have to pay for his salary. Everything is paid from the Department of Labor, their workforce program. So we're happy to have Will on board. He'll be with us for about 3 months, and he'll be working on various IT related projects.
Well, welcome, William.
Good
Welcome.
morning, guys. Thank you guys so much for inviting me in this morning. Yes, my name is William Ma'ana. I just wanted to introduce myself and let you guys know that I'm honored to be here, and it's a privilege for me even to be here on this Zoom meeting with you guys with all the things that's going on. Yeah, but this is my first sitting into one of the meetings like this, and I'm willing and learning to slowly as things goes by, but it's been fascinating for me. So this is my second week here, and I've been learning as much as I can. I'm with the information security program at Windward Community College, and then I'm also going to be enrolling in ACC's CSET networking and cybersecurity program as well. So I got a lot on my plate coming in the near future, but hopefully I can juggle things, and just give it my best. And I'm just great to be a part of this wonderful team here in this office. Everyone is friendly, everyone is helpful and supportive. And from day one, it's been a blessing for me, and I'm just willing to help Patrick and the department in any way I can, whatever it is. Yeah. So I'm here to learn. I'm not gonna know everything, but I'm just here to learn. And what I want to get out of this whole internship is to be able to maximize whatever I can learn and be able to use it in the future. And like I said, this is my first internship. I'm just so grateful to be on board here. And that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for allowing that.
We're very happy to have you here. And I think our state needs a lot more people in the cybersecurity and just general IT world. So you'll probably be an excellent hire when you graduate from these programs. Have state agencies clamoring for your help.
Yeah, it's fascinating because how I got in was from a Hawaiian program from Alulike that I got in, and they was trying to bridge the gap from all the native Hawaiian community into the IT world because I guess not too much of them are in it. But so that program that I'm in at WCC is actually sponsored by Alulike, and it's the Aukai program. And then so I was fortunate enough to be able to come on board, and this is my first semester there. And I'm just looking forward to it. So yeah.
One
Well,
thing you'll
we're-
learn through these meetings is that the commissioners are probably the least tech savvy of all the people that are here. So that's us. We will take any help you can offer. We're glad to have you on board.
Thank you, Chair, for your kind words. And we're obviously all very excited to have Will on board. And also want to especially recognize Patrick, who identified this program and went through the application process and has been helping supervise Will. So really, appreciate the work there. And it is exciting to do. So thank you. So onto maybe slightly less exciting topics. Just going briefly over the attachments, we have had a total of 12 presentations as of 4/21 and 565 participants going through our workshops and presentations. Looking at the online trainings, we've had a total of 73 for 2022, getting employee certificates completion from departments and agencies, and 10 board and commissions have gone through for a total of 83. I should note as well, we, thanks to Key and Bonita, we ran a mandatory training for all the House of Representative members and had a very, I think, terrific presentation. We got a feedback from a number of the legislators indicating it's one of the best presentations they've been to. So I think it's been very productive, and it sparked a couple different conversations with them about sort of individual follow-up questions. So I think it's a great precedent, and I think we'll be trying to reach out to the Senate to try to do something similar. Obviously, we do this periodically, but I think particularly in the light of current news, it's a good time to try to do refreshers. Let me just pause there briefly about the statistics before I jump into miscellaneous.
Sure.
Okay.
So you got the floor.
Thank you. Just a couple of quick announcements. Most of the staff have started to return to the office as of this week. I've asked staff to be in the office at least 3 days a week, with the idea that they'd be working remote. They can work remotely the other 2 days. I think the theme we're trying to accentuate, at least for the next couple of months, is flexibility and sort of learning together to the best way to navigate this new world, particularly as we sort of hopefully are exiting a pandemic. So, we would welcome any and all of you if you want to stop by the office. Obviously, sort of trying to, get back into, more traditional patterns, and, hopefully we'll have a happy hive of activity in the office going forward. On sort of a similar note, I'm recognizing that probably the future will be still having a lot of Zoom meetings. We are looking at increasing the bandwidth capacity in the office. Right now, if we have more than a certain number of folks on Zoom, you'll start to see a lag. So that's why, both Key and I are logging in from home to try to preserve the bandwidth in the office. So we are going to be looking probably in the next month or two to try to increase the capacity. Obviously, it has an additional cost, but it does seem like it's just a necessary expense moving forward. Let's see. The next thing on the agenda, and again, happy, let me just pause there if any staff want to jump in with sort of miscellaneous office updates before I jump into legislative session discussion.
Yes, is there any member of the public who wants to testify on anything in that Robert has presented thus far? Okay, I don't hear any, so we will move on to agenda item 4, which is the legislative update for 2022.
Thank you, Chair. So I've highlighted, so there have been a number of hearings. We've testified on a number of bills. Rather than going through all of them, I've essentially highlighted the bills that are still moving as of now, and sort of maybe are taking a little bit more of the focus. So the budget has passed both the House and Senate. I haven't checked it in a couple of days, but presumably it will be moving on to the governor, voted on the floor, moving to the governor at some point soon. As I indicated last time, it does contemplate increasing our part-time investigator position, which is currently empty, into a full-time position. It also adds additional funding to replace our existing servers that are 10 plus years old and are sort well past their expected lifespan. In addition, the mandatory ethics training bill is set. Sorry, I think I just got accidentally muted. The mandatory ethics training bill is set for training. Training bill is set for hearing this afternoon, and we sort of anticipate that it's going to continue to move forward. There is a bill on protocol gifts. This is more focused on sort of gifts given to the state, not necessarily to the individual, and it creates reporting requirements. It requires that it has to be kept, you know, in a certain place and then returned to the state archives, you know, if the, for example, if it's a legislator will leave office, et cetera. And so, you know, it's something we've been supporting and saying this is a good idea to do. There's a bill that sort of codifies our existing opinion on classifying interns as state employees. There's some language that we need to sort of work on, sort of length of the time that the intern can stay on as an intern. And then finally, there's a workforce development board, which requires the workforce development boards to create a conflict of interest policy. And we've had some back and forth with the Department of Labor on trying to match the federal requirements that they have and trying to also, you know, match them with our state. I think we've gotten into a really good spot and like the current draft, and hopefully it's moving forward. There are also a number of task force bills, which, you know, sort of generic line that they would put in is that they are exempt from our chapters. And so I think we've sort of been pushing back gently and saying, you know, task forces generally are exempted, but there are some specific requirements we'd like to see them going forward. Key is testified on a few of those bills. Generally, the changes haven't been a big deal, but just sort of flagging, it's sort of been a bit of a time effort to try to make sure we're having good language going forward on those bills. And it might be worth next year, next legislative session before the session starts, to try to do a brief education maybe of some of the drafters or some of the legislators around sort of distinction between task force and working groups and commissions. So shifting to item number 2 briefly, because I think I can wrap it up pretty quickly. You see as an attachment something we talked about at the last meeting, which is House Resolution 9, which creates the Commission to Improve Standards of Conduct. It sets out 7 members. I'm one of the members, and this commission's been meeting weekly. Nancy has been grateful enough to help participate in the meetings with me, sort of just to be able to provide assistance, particularly as we start doing more research going forward. The first report from this commission is due at the end of the month, and it is likely to be a pretty sparse report, basically pointing to a number of existing bills that are moving forward and recommending those bills move forward. Probably the most interesting one of them is SB 555, which is more on the campaign spending side of the House. It would prevent or disallow campaign fundraising during session. We have in this commission suggested that we can't just simply prevent the publicly noticed campaign fundraisers, but perhaps, you know, you have to go a little bit further and actually prevent fundraising in general. We don't want to take away sort of a publicly noticed campaign fundraiser and then move to a non-noticed sort of just money being given in the hallways kind of situation. So my guess is the commission will probably spend some time focusing on that bill and sort of making recommendations on what to do with that bill. The second report is due in December. My guess is that's probably where more substantive discussions will go on and maybe sort of more large recommendations. And happy to keep this commission updated as those meetings occur and as sort of where that's fleshing out. Let me pause there, see if there's any questions or anything from the public.
Does
I have
anyone
one
have
question.
comments?
Yes, I have one question, and it goes kind of back to like the opening of your comments. Is there a particular reason why the Senate has not had their training? I know you said you were working on it, but is there a kind of a stoppage? Because I think they are letting things lag, as it were?
I did meet with the Senate president. He, I think, was very supportive, willing. He's interested in hearing what's going to happen with this commission created by the House. So I don't think there's any opposition, and they're sort of taking the lead on SB 555. They're also taking the lead on trying to encourage additional funding for the Attorney General's office with a focus on sort of a criminal fraud, public corruption division. So, I mean, they're certainly doing their part. I don't think we've expressly asked if we can do a meeting for senators, and we did actually already host a meeting for Senate staff. So again, I don't necessarily see them as lagging. Just, you know, it's something we need to ask for and try to do.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, thank you. Okay, so if it's okay, I think that would conclude my portion, and we can maybe shift over to the Akana item agenda.
Yes, please.
Hello, Ray.
Briefly,
Morning, Ray.
The appearance of Commissioner Gronti at 9:30. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Good morning.
9:27 by my watch. Give you extra 3 minutes.
That sounds right.
Briefly on the Akana, no significant updates. We were forwarded sort of the old financial, blanking the name of it. They're doing an audit, a financial review, and they're going to do they are still in the process of doing a second one, or a newer updated one. They've passed it off. So no significant update on the Akana, except for, you know, we're still waiting to hear back from the Attorney General's department. So unless there's any questions.
No questions about that case. And so, wow, we moved quickly along here. No questions from the public, no questions from commissioners. Okay, if not, we will move on to agenda item 6, which is quarterly performance evaluations. And it's you again, Robert.
Might ask, Chair, if you're willing to entertain a motion to go into executive session. And I'd like to, just because it's talking about performance evaluations, actually also has to exclude staff as well from this conversation.
Okay, so may I have a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing quarterly performance evaluations? I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have the second. So, okay, if okay.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, so we are back in session for the public meeting. And are there any other questions or comments from the commission or any members of the public who would like to testify on anything that's been discussed? Hearing none, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Is there a second? Okay, so we will do the roll call vote. Commissioner Gronti,
Aye.
Commissioner McCarthy,
Aye. Well, they're calling you.
Okay, hold on. Can I call you back? Okay, thanks.
okay, Commissioner Tobias,
I'm sorry, aye.
and the chair votes aye. So let's take a 5-minute break. My clock says it's 9:40.